Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for popping in. This is Jenny here with Sipping Streams Tea Company. I am the owner and founder of Sipping Streams Tea Company. If you did not know who I was already, we are an 11-time international award-winning tea company, but we also sell tea. We teach about tea. We teach about tea history and culture, and we also wholesale. So we're actually a manufacturer and we distribute throughout actually the whole world. So we create custom blends for other tea companies. We help educate them in formulating their blends or creating or manufacturing or growing their teas a certain way. So anyways, if you're watching right now, say hello. I see some of you watching from Alaska. We have Laura. I think it's Laura who's a physical therapist. We've got Lullaby Darlings. And if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you are, say hello in the chat and let me know what the weather is like where you are. Because let me tell you, I thought Alaska was pretty intense, but I have been watching all the cars sliding around, people without power and electricity for days. And that was something I thought maybe just Alaskans dealt with. For example, I live in Fairbanks, Alaska. That's where our company is out of. And I actually lived in a dry cabin for 6 years. Now, I recently was in Miami and I was talking to some other fellow business owners in a mastermind that I'm in. And while we were having dinner, talking about what a dry cabin was, my husband and I, who are from Alaska, were like, yeah, dry cabin. And they all thought it was, you couldn't have liquor. You couldn't have alcohol. I mean, if you're a fellow Alaskan and you totally know what I'm talking about, give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up, because it is so funny the different cultures that we have even within our country of the United States. Hey, AK Coffee Company. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. And we got Ronnie joining us on Facebook. So right now, the weather is crazy everywhere. And for us in Alaska, especially in different rural parts of Alaska, who are used to not having running water as a normal everyday life. So for those of you who have no idea what a dry cabin is, I lived in a dry cabin for 6 years by choice while I was a business owner and I first started my company. That means I have no running water. I have an outhouse. I haul water in 5-gallon jugs. Some people are more sophisticated, have big old tanks on the back of their trucks, but I just had 5 gallons at a time that I would take to work. I would do laundry at my parents' house. I was fortunate enough not to have to go to laundromat, but even you who live in apartments might not have your own washer and dryer, so you go to laundromat. I had a shower at my store, in the back office area, so I took showers every day, and it's just a normal everyday lifestyle. We do have issues sometimes with winter storms with electricity, right? And so I have actual generators on my property because we've had these ice storms before too. Like we're used to in Fairbanks, Alaska, for it being like 50 below, 60 below Fahrenheit. I know it's crazy cold. No, I don't want that anymore. But, that kind of thing happens and we prepare for it. So how do we prepare whether you're out of electricity right now and you're watching on your cell phone, right? You're watching me talk how to survive and thrive during this crazy time. We just had a new president. We're still in a pandemic, a global pandemic. We're uncertain about vaccinations. All of this uncertainty that's out there, for me, honestly, I have learned through lots of counseling to just deal with one thing at a time and to make it logical. Make it logical, separate the emotion from it. And it's not that anyone is like more emotional than another, but things that you can do is when we had talked about mindfulness with Elle from the Mindful Root in the UK recently, she had talked about how you write down and observe what is going on. Be objective as much as possible. And that has to do with mindfulness. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to sit here and relax to some music. I'm going to sip on some tea or coffee. No. We're not sweeping the problem under the rug. We're dealing with it here and now. So what are you doing to be mindful, to take control of your certain situation? Maybe your business is in a rocky situation. Maybe you're about to have a baby. Mackenzie's watching here. She's about to have a baby, and she's getting started with a new business adventure. There is always uncertainty, but what are we doing to prepare to survive and to thrive. So mindfulness, as in taking control and assessing the situation. I mean, you see me like with all these notepads here, like this is my desk, is like writing it down so I don't forget. Because when you feel like you're going to shut down because your whole mind is full of everything, just like this is what I like to say. I feel like my mind is ADD and it's about to explode. Do you ever feel that way? That you're a little ADD and your mind's going to explode? Well, maybe it's not because you're ADD, but your pile keeps going up and up and up. Whether you're a parent, whether you're a business owner, that, I mean, is crazy. Then there's all this quote unquote uncertainty. Can we push the uncertainty away? Can we just ignore it for a little bit and stick to what we got to take care of right now? Yes, that is what mindfulness is being present in the moment. Yeah, awesome. Thumbs up. We got people watching on Instagram right now, lots of hearts. And we've got people watching on Facebook. So thank you so much for joining me. So today's topic, last minute topic. I wasn't going to do this live video, but I thought, you know what? My mind feels like it's about to explode. How many of you think you're just like, oh my gosh, okay, let's just get this going? So we need to be mindful of the moment. We need to write down and analyze what it is. I'm not a journaling person, honestly. I have like 5 journals. I've got all these planners. I honestly don't write things down. I'm just being so truthful for you because my mind feels like it's going to explode. But I do have tons of notebooks and tons of Post-its, and the act of writing things down or taking notes, as much as you didn't like it in high school and in college, it helps you digest it. It helps your brain process it. And as a former educator, this is what I always told my students. Even if you don't want to look at your notes again, just write it down. Because then your mind is connected with kinetic energy and movement to digest that, however it is. People learn in different ways. We absorb through listening, smell, seeing, doing. There's so many sensory ways that we learn and process. More importantly, process when we're dealing with surviving and thriving. And then, hey, Boyle Steep Pour joining us here on Instagram. What is a mastermind, Ronnie? Oh, I'll answer that in just a moment. So when we need to survive, we need to process, think, process, analyze. Does not mean that you're going to have any answers at all. You just got to put it out there and start moving the pieces around, whether it's in your mind. Some of you are amazing. You can analyze all that stuff in your brain. Some people like me, it's just too much. I just got to write it all down and think of how I'm going to shuffle it or write it on a bunch of Post-its or a dry erase board, however you do it. Those are all suggestions. I don't necessarily use all of them myself. So writing it down, being mindful in the present moment of what is going on and analyzing it. Then, how are you preparing yourself for disaster? How are you preparing yourself for the worst? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you staying hydrated, whether it's coffee or tea? So I own a tea business. I drink tons of tea every day. When you are dehydrated, you are essentially like a car running without engine oil. And that's why your brain overheats. Right? That's why you don't function very clearly. You get this brain fog. The same thing with a car. It needs oil in the engine or it's going to create a lot of friction and not work very well. That's how your body works physiologically. For those of you who don't know me very well, my background is actually in sports medicine. I know we've got a physical therapist in here. I used to be a former athletic trainer for a high school. I worked with post-surgery patients right when they came out of the operation room. And I would do wound care and their physical therapy on them right away. And in my background is also education. I went through those 2 careers before I started my tea company, and I apply a lot of this information of health, of wellness into my tea company because tea is just a tool. It's a great thing to remind us to be mindful, to remind us to be healthy, and to drink and be quenched and get nutrients. A medium for nutrients of those green leafy nutrients that we would get, like a superfood like kale or spinach. Now imagine drinking spinach soup broth. Essentially, that's what tea is. It's kind of like a soup broth, if you could say, because it comes from a plant and it's re-steeped, it's hydrated, it's brewed. But have you ever thought of it like kind of like a soup, you know? So you're getting the nutrients from your tea that way. So think about, are you getting enough sleep? I know as busy people, I say it too all the time. I'm up till 1 in the morning reading emails, answering people. But have you been disciplined enough with your sleep? Because if you're burnt out and in the hospital, or you've shot your immune system, you've gotten COVID, you know, what are you going to do when you're in the hospital? Well, should probably taken those precautions of washing my hands 5 extra times that day. Should have taken the precaution of wearing my mask in public to protect not just me, but other people. Okay. Because there's people in the same family households who've gotten COVID and the other person didn't get COVID. Crazy, huh? So not everybody gets it, just kind of like the flu. I'm not going to get into the controversy of like COVID's like the flu or not. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is there are precautions you can take, like preparing to get enough sleep, being conscious and aware of what you're touching and washing your hands, right? To prevent you from those things. But then the other part, which Ronnie has a great question here. How many of you thought about up leveling your education? So, for example, I was in Miami and very conscientious that I might get COVID by the time I come back and not being able to work. So, yes, I wore my mask all the time, wash my hands all the time, sanitize my hands, all that stuff. Got my COVID test, was negative when I came back into the state. But my mastermind is a group of people who are interested in the same thing, in up leveling that piece of education or knowledge. So a mastermind for me, that one was my business mastermind. We're all different business professionals working on building our teams, working on building our systems of our company. That's one thing that attracted me to that specific mastermind. You might have a mastermind or a group or a club or education in health and wellness, right? You might be wanting to prepare and educate yourself for up leveling that. So we actually have a group of people for the university program, which up levels and educates their teen knowledge, expertise, helps them with their business, helps them with their mindfulness, their health, their wellness, how tea is processed, manufactured, how to tweak all of those things. It's literally the whole world of tea. So we don't call it a mastermind, we call it a tea education program. And so what are you doing? What are you doing right now to up level your whatever interest that you need to do or focus on to take yourself, or if you're an entrepreneur, your business to the next level? What are you doing for personal development? That's really what it is. So I just wanted to let you know that there are 3 things that you can consider and take control over. One of it is mindfulness, how to structure and to strategize, processing the current situation, the moment. The other one was kind of combo is, hydration and sleep, right? Hydration and sleep. So your brain can process and your body can rest and compartmentalize those things in your brain. It's very interesting because I've actually studied memory, right? I've had a whole semester literally on memory and how your brain processes things, how it digests things so that you can advance or do whatever or do your job better or be a better athlete, all those things. Literally the whole process of how your brain works. So sleep and hydration are very important for that. And the third thing, what are you doing for personal development? What are you doing to up level yourself or your business or your mindset or your wellness or whatever your interest is? How are you growing as an individual? That's a really big question. So for us at Sipping Streams, we have a tea class coming up next Thursday and Friday on the 25th and 26th called the Essential Immune Boosting Tea Workshop. Now, it might not be for you. It might not be for you. But if you're wanting to up level and develop your own personal plan of wellness and health and nutrition and you want to learn about that in the worlds of tea because you're a tea drinker, I highly recommend that you message me and sign up today. Or you could go to sippingstreams.com because we actually send you the teas. It's not just a group of people who talk about things, it's actually literally learning what all these things do and how it applies in your life in a holistic way. And within 1 week, you'll see significant changes if you do the work. Now, like I said, a mastermind is not for everyone. A tea class is not for everyone. Not everyone cares about the third thing to consider to survive and thrive. Not everyone wants to even do it or invest in it. But you know what? That is where the thriving comes in. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a coffee drinker, teacher, right? Dealing with how the systems is right now, whether you're without electricity, you don't know where you're going to, like, how you're going to pay your rent, you're out of heating fuel. If you're, dealing with like frozen water lines, which I had to actually deal with for the 3 days we came back after Miami, we had frozen water lines. Our water pump burnt out, so we had no running water for 3 days. And then we ran out of heating fuel. So I totally understand all of you in Texas, Oregon, all of those places who like, what the heck, because that still happens to us in Alaska. And thank goodness I have already trained myself how to survive and thrive in minimal conditions for 6 years of my life while I was starting my business. So I was like, okay, no running water. I got my emergency jug of water, So if you're interested, I see Ronnie's interested in this tea class. I'll send you a message, or you can reach out to me, Jenny Je, on Facebook or whatever. But if you're interested in up-leveling your tea knowledge, your education and personal development of health and wellness, I highly recommend you just invest like a week, 2 days to a week, depends if you can show up live or if you need to watch the replays of 6 different sessions, 6 very in-depth sessions on how to survive and thrive with your health and wellness in the area of tea. So I just want to come on here, relate to everyone, connect with you who are going through all kinds of whatever that's happening and continuing into 2021, right? So thank you so much for popping in here. I hope you share this out with your friends or family or anyone who is interested and could relate to this video. So if you could tag them below or share it out with them, that'd be awesome. This is on YouTube, this is on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So thank you everyone who's joined us today on all those different platforms. Ronnie, I will get back with you right away after this video is over, and reach out to me anytime. My strength is in education, health, and wellness. Even though I own a tea company and I sell tea, I actually do sell tea, but my passion is helping people with personal development also. So anyways, have a great day. Stay warm and cozy, stay hydrated and healthy, and blessings to everyone.